Tripura Royal Scion and TIPRA MOTHA Chairman Pradyot Deb, in an exclusive conversation with Northeast Live Assistant News Editor Pinaki Das, spoke on a host of issues including greater Tipraland Movement and functioning of the TTADC. Well, Barman today demanded that the centre, if interested, must call the TIPRA MOTHA and other groups of indigenous individuals for talks on the greater Tipraland issue. Well, Pradyot Bikram said that TIPRA MOTHA is clear in its position on the Tipraland demand. The TIPRA MOTHA chairman said that it is ready to sit across the table and discuss the issue with the centre in a transparent manner. Well, Pradyot said that if talks prevail, then it would not seek for financial packages or any other post, but would rather demand for a constitutional settlement. The TIPRA MOTHA chairman is of view that if the centre can talk to NSC and IM, then it must also talk to a legitimate political party.
Going to come to the people in the election? What are the, progress report you are going to produce, and what is your future plan about your party? Because BJP is a little worried because we have often seen the two of the big leaders from their alliance party sitting in press conference. They're expressing themselves with you, and in another 1 year hardly left for the election. So where do we see Pradyot Kishore? Because you just said you are the man, the kingmaker in the next elections.
I'm not the kingmaker, the people are the kingmaker. I'm just a person who has been able to articulate his point of view towards the people. All I'm saying is that we have a clear position on our demand. If the government of India is interested in having conversation with us, please invite us. We will have a transparent and open conversation with the government of India. If they agree to a demand, or if they think that they have a better idea than what we are demanding, we will sit across the table and we will take it to the people. We will not discuss about posts and financial packages. What we want is a constitutional settlement, and let us sit across the table, invite us, we will talk. I am not saying that I am right 100 all the time. They should also not say that you should be happy with whatever we have given you 40 years ago. Let's sit down, let's have a conversation. If the government of India can talk to NSCN, then why can't they talk to a legitimate political party? Why can't they speak to the legitimate demands of indigenous people of Tripura? I'm sure that they're doing a great job talking to the NSCN. It is great that they have reached out to the Naga outfits, and we welcome that. I think it is a welcome step. Same way, they should also speak to us. They cannot say that we are anti-national after they are speaking to NSCN, which is also speaking for the Naga people.
And when asked if he was working for the sake of a certain section of society, Pradyot DebBarma reacted and said that he is not against particular community. Well, ruling out any communal divide, DebBarma said that his entire idea of demanding constitutional right for the indigenous people does not mean denying any rights to other communities. Well, the Royal Scion also questioned the BJP as to why it is still in ties with the IPFT when the latter took to shut down and blockades in support of a greater Tipraland. Well, DebBarma maintained that it was wrong to label him as an anti-national when he raised the Tipraland issue.
Your critics have been raising that why Pradyot Kishore is raising the Tipraland, greater Tipraland demand, which you, to some extent, the BJP Alliance Party also had the same demand, but they now are behind. Can you make little clear to the people what is this Tipraland? Because there is always a confusion that it is for a particular section of people and against a particular section. I'm taking to be very specific, tribal and the non-tribal. Differences are to be made. That is the reason. It's a political game that Pradyot Kishore. How do you react to that?
I've never been against any Bengali community. In fact, history has shown that we have always had patrons from the Bengali community, whether it was Rabindranath Tagore, Jagdish Chandra Bose. We've had such good relationships with many renowned personalities from Bengal. The entire idea of me asking for a constitutional right for the indigenous community does not mean denying anyone any right from any other community. In fact, what has been very painful for me is to see that people who claim to be intellectuals have suddenly decided to brush an entire community, saying that their demand is anti-national. The people of Jharkhand demanded Jharkhand, but not because they hated the people of Bihar. The people of Chhattisgarh have demanded Chhattisgarh, not because the Gonds and the tribes of Chhattisgarh had a dislike for the people of Madhya Pradesh. Same way with Uttarakhand. And to ask if my demand is so unpalatable for BJP, then why did BJP ever have an alliance with IPFT, which were blocking the national highway, which was stopping rations for all people in Tripura and saying that we want Tipraland? When IPFT demanded Tipraland, they had a problem. But when I have demanded Greater Tipraland, they call me anti-national. So they need to make up their mind, and they need to realize one thing, that just because I will not compromise on my community and my people and the people of Tripura does not mean that they can weaken me by categorizing me as an anti-national.
And well, Pradyot Bikrammaintained that he has never indulged in politics of religion. The TIPRA MOTHA chief said that there has been no attack on any community in indigenous tribal areas, whereas the scenario was totally different even in capital city, Agartala. Well, DebBarma said that there is a divide due to wrong policies taken up by the centre in the last 73 years.
As I've always said, I've never had any. I'm a Indian. I'm a patriot. I've loved my country. I respect all religion. I've spoken for Hindus. I've spoken for Christians. I've spoken for Muslims. I've spoken for Buddhists. I've never done a politics of religion. I've also been very clear that there has been no attacks on any community outside the indigenous people in the ADC since we assumed power in 1 year. While you have seen in Agartala, there's been scores of violence. You've seen in Udaipur, you've seen in different parts of Pani Sagar where religious communities have been attacked. But in my ADC, not a single act of violence has happened. So maybe the intellectuals should realize that what Pradyot Manikya is asking is empowering a certain group of people and not disempowering another group of people. This divide has not been created by the Bengalis and the tribals. This divide has been created because of the wrong policies of the centre over the last 73 years.
And well, Pradyot BikramManikya reiterated that TIPRA MOTHA will align with only those political parties who back the Tipraland demand. Meanwhile, the TIPRA MOTHA chief alleged that the centre has a stepmotherly attitude towards the autonomous district councils, not only in Tripura but also across entire northeast, with a few exceptions pertaining to Assam. Well, DebBarma alleged that the TTADC has failed to receive adequate funds from the centre as well as the state government.
The journey has been smooth at times, and at times it's been tough. The most important thing being that the stepmotherly attitude which has been given to us by the state government. I think the ADCs, not only in Tripura but in many parts of northeast, be it in Mizoram, be it in parts of Manipur, and also in certain parts, I won't say all over Assam, but in certain parts of Assam, the autonomous district councils have been treated like a stepchild, and more so in Tripura. We have seen that the attitude of state governments have improved in other states. In Assam, it has definitely improved. But if you see Tripura, I don't think that we've got enough adequate funds. And especially in the times of pandemic, especially when times are challenging, and especially when the indigenous people of Tripura, the Tiprasa people, are facing a lot of hardship, we thought that the government of India or the state government would release some funds in the healthcare, in communication, in infrastructure. But sadly, what we have seen is that we've only got lip service and we've got hardly any funds.